Island is the map. Terran player to the top left. In the teal, he is
CJ Entus Bbyong.
teal, not a color seen very often.
Bbyong won against Sniper in the second tiebreaker, but he lost in the original group stage. Cross-positioned to the bottom right starts the player who is down 1 game in tiebreaker number 2. It is
MVP Sniper.
That's the look of a player who's in stress. You can see his eyebrows even narrowly focused here. He's definitely feeling the pressure. He sends out an early drone scout once again, does not want to be proxied.
Yeah.
I'm liking his scouts and his ability to make spine crawlers to be safe.
I mean, you always know that if there's going to be a proxy, it's going to be in the middle of the map. So he sends it out, and he will actually not go into the middle. Usually you really have a cross scout because you want to see if there are a few barracks at the Zernaga Watchtower.
It's maybe possible he wants to see if there's a CC first, and then he'll go double hatch before pool. That's the only other reason I could think of that he doesn't go for this. But he could still pass by the Watchtower and do the same thing. But he sees no CC in the left side, and he's already going to see on the right side with his Overlord.
He's going to scout into the main base, going to go to the top left now first. His Overlord, of course, is at the top right.
He can't go double hatch before pool now, though, safely.
Yeah, he can. There is a CC first, but he might actually just try to wait long enough.
Yeah, he's really going to be cutting it close if he does that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the minerals just yet, so at this point it doesn't matter. It's going to matter as soon as he has the 200. And let's see if he builds the pool right away or if he actually waits. He builds the pool.
Yeah, he's just got to be safe here. He's also, as we mentioned before, down in the group, so if he takes a risk like this without being able to scout...
Problem for him is that he doesn't get into the main base anymore.
Well, he almost did. That was almost really lucky.
So he does not know about the gas. This is the only issue that occurs here. He sees, well, command center first, barracks after this, that's fine. But are you going for a super greedy mode? Are you going to a third command center? Are you going into a gas? This is something that he just doesn't know yet.
Yeah, he's going to get information about that pretty soon. Ooh! That just means get back in.
Yeah, and he does.
But the pool finishes here. And I think we're going to see gasless play from Sniper. He's just going to go into 4 queens. Just like he's been showing us so far already in this group. The drone trying to do what he can here. He's actually damaged these structures quite annoyingly. So in fact, he puts the depot into yellow.
Gas number 2 is now already being taken. Goes into the second gas right away. Bbyong, that is. Sniper, on the other hand, not with the third base just yet. Ah, it's drone! Ah, first blood for the Marine.
Yeah. And SCV Scout is going to get his first glimpse of where Sniper is after he scouts top right, because that's incorrect. Goes for the factory, and we're seeing exactly as predicted. No gases from Sniper. Goes into 4 queens.
Well, at this point, what we have is a very aggressive build by Bbyong, if you consider that he started with the command center first. So he's really trying to put on some aggression and keep Sniper just low. And Sniper, at this point, he's going into the extra queens, as you said, so no gas, trying to go into a third base. But he needs to start that at some point. He's already 5 minutes in. There comes the scout, sees the double queen on the low ground, can already... He's at least going to assume what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Double factory again.
Double factory and...
I mean, we know that Bbyong likes mech play, but on this map, right now, with the build that he chooses, he's going for a lot of Hellions. This is a little bit the style that we've seen players like Keen use in the past. Also, of course, Bbyong in the last game, going for Blue Flame Hellions, and it looks like he's going to go for exactly the same
just
thing.
With 2 factories this time, more Hellion-centered than going for a build with the Marines.
The only question that I have is, what is he doing if that doesn't work? What is going to be his transition? Is he really going to play mech on a map like World?
Only MVP seems to be able to pull that off.
I mean, we've seen this in the past, and it has been a strong strategy, but I personally am always a little bit weirded out by it, because it's such a huge map, and there is so much potential for run-bys that it's very difficult if your opponent is a good multitasker, and that's true for Sniper.
Yeah, this is a bit strange, to say the least. We'll see how he does with his Hellions, though, because that sets the pace. If he does enough damage, it gives him a lot more flexibility. These Hellions sneak in. Nothing to stop him, no queens. Yeah. There's a queen at the natural, but he can't block the ramp with this. He's just going to the main.
2 are down. He just wants to scout and take down a few harvesters. And actually, he does a really good job. If he takes down 2 more, that's all that he needs to do here. Takes down 1, and 2. This was already well worth it for him. He loses 200 minerals, his opponent loses 200. He gets the scouting information. He even takes down another harvester. Very well done by Bbyong here.
Yep.
6 workers killed, in fact, with the initial drone.
And if the queens do not block this time, the damage is going to be worse because he's got more Hellions and he has the blue flame upgrade. He will check for the 3rd before he goes in. He wants to make sure, though, that he does not attack it. Well, he shows the Hellions. I think this was a mistake.
Well, there are more Hellions that are coming across the map, and he doesn't know about the rest of the Hellions. This is the big problem. He also doesn't know about the blue flame Hellion upgrade. It's not done yet.
Yeah. He's trying to distract these queens so some of his Hellions can run in.
He does not have roaches, and he doesn't have banelings.
Nope, he does not. He has neither, and
the second set of Hellions comes in. He's coming in now. He's coming in now. This could actually be devastating. The blue flame Hellion upgrade is done. How much energy is on the queens? He's trying to transfuse, but the Hellions are just going to ignore them.
Line up!
The drones line up, and he's taking down a significant number. The queen is blocking the ramp. He's trying to bust his way through. He's wiggling the Hellions past the queen.
There's way too many Hellions here for him to handle. He pulls his drones away. They will be targeted. There are 4 Hellions left. Drones line up a little bit. Good splitting here at the last second by Sniper, but the damage has still been done. How much more can he do? The drones stack up!
28 harvesters have been killed. Only 25 drones remaining for Sniper against 41 SCVs. Resources lost in general. A lot more for the Zerg. 1,600 against 1,000. This is all minerals, of course, but the big problem is that Bbyong isn't even done. He's going into triple command center, and he has more Hellions on the way.
More Hellions coming down. He's going into mech here. He has a... the supply doesn't tell the tale. It's really the larva and the economy that Sniper has to now deal with. He has 4 queens still only. He hasn't added any additional ones. These next Hellions are going to continue to be a bit of a nuisance.
Taking down 1 drone at the 3rd base, checking what's up. Yep, against the roaches they of course don't stand a chance. But can he kill a few more drones?
Yeah, I think he'll get at least 1. Nope.
The issue becomes again for Sniper that he is already down 1 game in this second tiebreaker, which means that if he loses to Bbyong, then he is out. He's in code A. There's nothing he can do anymore. We will have another match. That is definitely a given. Su has to face Bbyong no matter what happens here. But if Sniper loses in this game, then the only thing that's going to be determined by the 3rd game in this round is going to be who is the one who advances to code S.
Yeah. Hellions here trying to take control of the watchtower. There's a few roaches there. Roach count for Sniper pretty low. He's been keeping it low because he knows all he needs to do is defend the Hellions. He's going to try to use his mutas. Mutas are great on this map no matter what you face because they can bounce between the 3 bases very freely. And against mech, if you can hit some very aggressive timings at the 3rd, you might be able to force your opponent to lift it and thus, therefore, keep his gas economy low and really hurt his mech production.
Yeah. Well, right now, what Sniper is scouting, and he sees now exactly what's going on. He sees the number of factories that he's dealing with. He sees the number of siege tanks, that it's a very siege tank heavy composition for Bbyong. The question is, of course, how exactly is he going to react to what he sees? The Spire tech that he has, in addition to the roaches, will give him the option to go into Broodlords later, but he could also just attempt to go into a massive amount of Mutalisks and maybe surprise his meching opponent who showed no Thors in the last game where he met.
It looks like he wants to go heavy mutas. Look at that, getting Carapace right away as soon as the Spire finishes.
With the Carapace upgrade, even if he's facing Thors, he can actually fight very well. Thors have 4 attacks, and a Mutalisk upgrade, an armor upgrade, works against the number of attacks. If you, for example, have a unit that does 4 times 5 damage and you have 1 armor upgrade, then suddenly they only do 4 times 4 damage instead. Yeah. So it's really important to count the number of attacks that happen here. So an armor upgrade against a mech army where we might see Thors is really strong.
It's the best upgrade he can get, considering that his composition is mech. It's something to consider for all sorts of upgrades. You know, for example, the Carapace upgrade for Lings against Zealots, and also Colossi, for example, having that upgrade against Viking attacks. Viking attacks is 2 rockets, so definitely something to consider for some of the new players out there who don't know that.
Same is true for Missile Turret. Missile Turret also has 2 attacks.
And that's why Mutalisk Carapace is such an essential upgrade. Basically everything that fights Mutas for Terran is going to use that except Marines.
A few of the reasons why you usually see the attack upgrade instead of the armor upgrade is that the idea of Mutalisk for most players is to dart in, do damage, and leave before the units to defend are there. So you don't really want to fight. You want to go for hit-and-run strategies, guerrilla style.
Yep. 11 mutas now coming out, and he can hide these if he wants to and go into even more. I don't think that's what he's going to do. I think he will send these first ones out. The 2 Thors that are coming out for Bbyong are his first ones.
Yep. 2 Thors are not going to be enough. And now it's 15 Mutalisks. But 2 Thors are only the beginning. If he can get more than that, that would definitely give Sniper a big problem to think about.
7 mutas. In addition, he's going up to 18 here. Seen Moonglade do this in the past. He's one of those players to get early Carapace and go for heavy mutas. This is, of course, a long time ago.
He's hiding the Mutalisks.
Yeah, this is actually really smart. It could really turn the tables for Bbyong.
Think about what happens when Bbyong moves across the map. There are 30 Mutalisks that are hidden. He has 3-4 Thors, and then he's in the middle of the map. Those siege tanks are not fast enough to run back. The only thing that can escape are the Hellions. The Thors would die to a good magic box, so if he really waits for his opponent to attack him and is able to hide the Mutalisks this long, that would help him so much. That would completely take out Bbyong.
Yeah,
and Bbyong is scanning anywhere because
he's trying to scan you. Alright, now he sees mutas, but he doesn't know how many. You know, seeing some mutas, he already saw the Spire early, seeing some mutas is enough to start him to make 4 Thors. He's a little bit concerned here. You know, he's already got the siege tank count where he needs to be in. Drone barbecue.
Yeah, another drone barbecue. He's losing even more harvesters now. 4 Thors at a time. This will put him up to 6. 40 workers have been killed in total.
Yeah.
Kerrigan might know what this Mutalisk was doing at the top left. We don't.
Worker count is actually in favor of Bbyong right now. And his command center count is about to hit 9, 10. When all those 4 command centers finish.
He's scanning everywhere. He wants to know what's going on here. Why don't I see more Mutalisks?
He's like, there needs to be more units. He's like, I don't get it. He has to realize at this point. He's making more turrets too. I think he knows. I think he's like, no.
Well, he doesn't know, but he has a suspicion.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like, what else could this be? I would have found your roaches by now. Your roaches can't hide in the air.
This is 28 Mutalisks now, and he's getting more.
Against 6 Thors. And he only has +1 versus +1 Carapace.
Yeah. This
magic
is gonna get
boxing
ugly.
is so critical here.
Yeah, he needs to have a really good magic box. I mean, if he pulls that off, then okay. He really wanted to go for this blindside attack that I told you earlier. If he moves out, now that would be the point, but now there are 6 Thors.
Here we go! The Thors are firing at 1 muta when he could be firing at over 30.
There we go. Both of the Thors are already gone. The siege tanks are going to be the next victim. The rest of the Thors is not there just yet. The Mutalisks, they cluster up. He doesn't see it. Sniper, what are you doing?
He's not paying attention here. He's getting all the siege tanks, but the Thors are putting a fast hurt to those mutas, and the rest of the mutas are a little bit weakened, so he can't fight the Thors anymore without roach support. Here come the Lings.
He's taking all of them down, though. He lost way too many Mutalisks with his first attack, but it was still worth it. Taking out the initial 2 Thors that took out the anti-air that defended those siege tanks, and he killed all of them.
Yeah, now he has to make tanks and Thors again, because he doesn't know if Sniper is just going to switch into full-on roach.
Even though Sniper messed this up a little bit with the second Muta Force, and all of the Mutalisks died, it was still well worth it. He killed so much. He achieved exactly what he was trying to do here.
Yeah, he totally dominates the game now. And he has map control with not only his mutas, but his creep is out of this world. He's taking additional bases. Yeah, Bbyong has a lot of CCs, but he doesn't have a lot of gas. He's trying to secure this base, but the mutas are going to say no.
And think about how and why this happened. He was so far behind in this game because of those Blue Flame Hellion run-bys, and this was his chance, this was his strategy, this was the trap, and it worked. Bbyong ran right into it.
Yeah, now he's going to kill the CC. Should kill the gases as well. Oh, the SCVs? And he will get the gases. This is exactly what Bbyong needs. He needs those refineries because he's starting to run out of gas. He's becoming depleted here.
Yeah. The 4th base, denying it, becomes important for Sniper. He's now the one dominating this game, and he is the one who can end it in his favor. He's going into... He has Hive Tech, you know? He has everything that he needs, except for the Spine Crawlers at his fort.
Yeah, they're a bit late, and the drones are getting roasted once more. Worker count is still pretty even for these 2 players. 67 for Sniper to 62 for Bbyong.
The scary part is how many Harvesters have been killed by Bbyong in this game. 52.
Yeah. Units lost are way in favor of Sniper, though. Oh my god, he's actually 3,000 resources more efficient because of those mutas.
Yeah.
Now adding some turrets to help protect his potential 4th that he's still struggling to take, and the Broodlords are now being hidden.
It was such an ingenious move to hide the Mutalisks, to really be like, well, move out. If you move out, I can take down your entire army because you can't run away. You are slow, you play mech. You have no chance of getting away once I overwhelm you.
It was really well done. He has a 60 supply lead, he has all the tech in the world.
It's funny though that we see now the Broodlord tech. We talked about this map and Broodlords. The issue that happened on Cloud Kingdom in the last game that the two of them played could happen on Whirlwind 2. Broodlords are slow. If your opponent has a lot of anti-air and you lose the air battle, you will not only lose your anti-air units, Corruptors or Mutalisks, you will also lose every single Broodlord that you have.
Yeah.
So he needs to make sure that when he moves out, he's the one who has the better anti-air on him.
Turrets here are no match for these mutas. There's way too many of them. They have +1 Carapace, which, like you said before, is affected twice by the turrets. It's going to kill an armory. If he gets the second armory, that means that no more air upgrades for the Vikings, and also no more Thors.
Yeah. In general, Vikings is something. If you play Mutalisk and you see Vikings, you're just standing
You're
there.
ready to kill 'em.
You have a big smile on your face, and you're like, "Bring it." But the big issue is if you suddenly combine the Vikings with Thors,
Yeah.
it becomes very different. Because the idea is
Or
go
even
in,
turrets.
or turrets. Go in with the Mutalisks, fight the Vikings, close up. Then with the bouncing damage, you have the upper hand. But as soon as there are Thors in there, when your Mutalisks cluster up, then the Thors take them out.
Yeah. And, you know, even with high numbers of Vikings, so when you have that many Vikings like we just saw, he could have kited a little bit, maybe even bought time for the Thors to be there, even if the Thors weren't there initially. 9 Corruptors on the way, +2 Carapace for Air is getting closer here, but +2 ship weapons is also on the way.
Yeah.
It's a little bit behind.
Very important here is, of course, the bank that we have for the players, since Bbyong is now closing supply gap. But we have Sniper with not only minerals, but also getting a lot more gas now. He could even saturate the additional bases that he just built, and he starts to get the gas at the 4th. Probably going to get it at the 5th and the 6th soon, too.
The army supply for Bbyong is, once he maxes out, going to be a little bit better than Sniper because he has less harvesters. He has, right now, 8 orbital commands, so all of those go into the mules he can drop.
Now he's going for the Ultralis Cavern. In
This
this
is
game,
smart.
he really tries to be prepared in case that there is a heavy air commitment. Ah, nice. Canceling this +2 attack upgrade is really good for Sniper. For Bbyong, on the other hand, this is devastating. Losing this means that his air army will be a little bit weaker.
The Muta's not going to stick around here.
Yeah, there are too many Vikings. He's not really able to fight with them.
Trying to tear through these depots and get an opening, but he wants to trade the supply so he can max out with more Broods or Ultras.
Taking down Blue Flame Hellions, that is not a bad trade. He can at least make sure that there's not going to be another run by with Blue Flame Hellions taking down his officers.
And Blue Flame Hellions are an okay buffer against Broodlings during certain fights. 6 more Vikings on the way, and he's preparing for the Ultras. Carapace coming out, chitinous plating.
+2 attack upgrade has also been started now for the Corruptors. He's already on +2 armor. So in the upgrade count, he has a slight lead. Or he will have a slight lead because
Look at
he's a bit
the creep.
faster.
That creep is so far on the map.
We see a second Spire so that he can start +3/+3 at the same time. That's the only upgrade set that's missing after this.
Yeah. He's getting Overlord speed as well.
He's sacrificing siege tanks.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need these. Well, at least it looked like that's what he was doing. He's not doing anything with them now.
Okay, this is a little bit weird now. If he really wants to max out on a different army composition, then this is okay, but I feel that he probably just tried to sneak them over while attacking the right side, drawing the army to the right, having the siege tank at the left, taking out another base. Then he saw the Mutalisk. He's like, oops, they are not supposed to be there. Maybe I can save a tank or two.
Oh, these Broodlords are exposed now. The Corruptors need to get over there. If he gets a good angle, the Infestors won't be there. Uh-oh, he could also get trapped in the main.
19 Corruptors. And
I
here
don't
comes the
know about
Viking. Here come the
this.
Infestors.
I don't know about this at all. I don't actually understand this.
What?
The Viking landing here.
Well, the thing is they are trapped right now.
Yeah, and now he's going to lose every single one of them with only killing
Yeah.
like an Extractor and some infested Terrans.
At first it looks like a really good move, like an ingenious move, but then you realize that they are trapped because they get damage on the low ground. This will diminish their numbers, which means that they can't fight the air battle anymore once they get airborne.
I don't think I've ever seen a more horrible choice in my entire... I don't understand that at all. I'm like looking at this like, there's not even the Spire there to kill. He thinks he's going to kill the whole hive? That was really weird. Now he lost so much with that. He lost like 26 Vikings and killed an Extractor and some infested Terrans. That was really silly.
He probably looked at it and was like, okay, well, I'm just going to be smart now. I'm going to take down this base. But then once the Vikings were on the ground, he's like, I'm getting fungled here. I'm going to lose Vikings. Then I can't match my opponent's anti anymore. This means as soon as I go into the airborne mode again, I will lose everything.
I mean, this is what happens when you play this late and you've been playing for this many hours. Maybe a bit of exhaustion comes in. I don't know. He does get the hatch here, though.
I don't think he would make this decision again.
That is definitely sure. 0 out of 10 would not land Vikings again.
Here comes Sniper now with 200 supply, getting 12 additional Corruptors, plus 3 armor for his air units, taking down the mech army. Bbyong is struggling. He is 60 supply behind now, and his bases are going to be attacked. He cannot face these Brood Lords, and also not the Corruptors.
Imagine if he had all the Vikings from before. You know, this would be a much different situation.
Oh yeah, it definitely would be.
And now he's trying to take this battle.
There's
no
no way.
fumbles, but he just doesn't have enough Vikings. The Corruptors are way too much. The upgrades are really good on them.
Exactly. There is just no chance anymore. The base is already dead, and therefore
Tanks are dying.
the income is worse. He's losing Vikings. He's losing siege tanks. He is losing this game.
He's trying to kite, but it doesn't matter. There's 3,000 resources, 1,500 gas for Sniper in the background.
GG. Sniper takes the game. He is still in. This was the most important game for him today so far. We have now all of these players with 1 win. Well, Bbyong has a loss, Sniper is on 1-1, Su has 1 win. The next game is going to decide it all. Will we have Su in Code S and Sniper getting the wildcard spot, Bbyong in Code A, or will we have a third tiebreaker?
Yeah. It's all up to Su. If he wants to knock Bbyong down here, he's got to take this win. I'm really excited about what the map is because Bbyong has shown really interesting and exciting play today, especially with mech. He could have won that game, maybe. The bank was much better, even without the Vikings all blowing up. If he had kept the Vikings, maybe wins the air battle. He has to deal with the Ultralist transition, though. I would have liked to see how that game played out without the Vikings. I mean, the Viking landing was just not a good idea. Even if the investors weren't there, then he's going to go up at different times and the Corruptors are going to own him. It was just weird.
It killed him.
Yeah, it was a strange choice.
The map.
All right, map info. I'm clicking it. Ooh, it's going to be Aquilon Flats. Or Aquilon. Is it Aquilon or Aquilon? That's the question.
I don't care.
In Korean, it's Aquilon, so I guess...
Yeah, but the Korean is very
well,
weird.
who made the map? Was it a Korean map maker or Blizzard?
I don't know.
That's the question.
Well, going into this game, there is Bbyong. He knows that he has to win now. Su could end it all. He could go straight into Code S if he takes this game.
Good.
This could once again be, like for the 3rd time now, the last game that is ever going to be played in the Mukdum studio.
It could be, man. Either that or we become part of Groundhog Day 2 where we just keep playing this series over and over and over and over again for eternity.
That could also happen. Well, we're going into the game right now. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Another Terran versus Circus coming your way. SKT wants Su is up against CJ enters Bbyong. This might be the last game of... This is the last game of the second tiebreaker. Will it decide who goes to Code S? We're going to find out right now. Get the GSL up and down Group E with Carl and Wolf.